Hello, welcome to episode 43 of the Stress Knits podcast. My name is Stacy, also known as Stacy Elston on Instagram and Stress Knits on Ravelry. Today is April 28th, 2017, and so just a big hello and welcome to new and returning viewers. It means so much to me that you want to spend some time with me. There's so many podcasts that are so much better than me out there. So it just means so much to me that you want to talk to me about knitting. And so it's so nice. I love it. I've been looking forward to this all day. So I just got back from lunch with my mom. I have my favorite beverage, which is Starbucks iced coffee. Delicious. And I took Doug's office chair, so if you hear any weird leather chair noises, it's this. I'm going to try not to fidget too much. I already recorded this once, but then I really had to pee, so I had to stop. And I don't edit because my laptop is a 2011 Dell Inspiron, however you pronounce that, and software just does not work on that. So that is all of that kind of good stuff. I'm wearing my Exploration Station by Stephen West. It's not on very well, so I'm going to take it off and show you anyway. I finally blocked it, so fun fact. But it's a schlanket that I love that people are knitting schlankets now because I love giant shawls. They're my favorite. So a nice big schlankety schlanket, and I love it. I knit it out of Fiber Story, Wool and Vine yarn, and boho chic fibers, I think. She's a Michigan-based yarn dyer, like Fiber Story. And then Wool and Vine, so obviously. I love it. So there is that. I'm going to try to start wearing more of my knitted wear on the podcast because I love it. And I finally put all of my shawls in a drawer. And it's amazing. So I feel like I'm like suffocating. I'm really bad at styling shawls, so bear with me. It's fine because the first episode I did this too. So the first episode I tried to record, I did this too. So right now we have a knit along going on in the Stress Knits Ravelry group and on Instagram, and it's called Socktacular. Because I've just been on a sock kick lately, and I completely blame Sarah of Love Sock Wool in the best way possible because I've been watching all of her back episodes because I miss her. I wish she podcasted more often, but life, right? So I've just been watching some of her backlogs and really enjoying all of the socks that she cast on and her reckless cast on, and I just want to be the same. So I have a bunch of socks to show you, including some hose. So if you have not joined the Socktacular knit along, it is basically just knitting your favorite sock yarn or something of your favorite, like in your favorite yarn, your favorite skein of yarn in your stash, a pattern that you love that's a go-to, or just a pattern you've always wanted to knit that's super special to you. Just knit with the good stuff is kind of essentially what this is. And yes, it's fun. I highly recommend it. So if you want to join us on Instagram, it's #Socktacular KAL, and it is on the Stress Knits Ravelry group page. So so let's get into my hose. So first I have my Jinx Yarn Menahan sock, which is a collaboration with Wool and Vine yarn. I love it. I did a 1x1 twisted rib, just a plain vanilla sock, an Eye of Partridge heel flap, and just, a foot. So I knit this while my dad was in the hospital, which it wasn't a big deal. If you didn't watch last time, he had his appendix taken out. It was a long day. So I just knit most of the sock, and then I finished it in Chicago, which I'll talk about later. And yeah, so that's that. I have not cast on the second sock yet, but I knit them on my size 1 Signatures 2.25 millimeter. I love them. Highly recommend Signatures. So there's that. The next sock that I finished the first of is my Hermione's Everyday sock in the Monet colorway by Hedgehog Fibers on their sock base. I did a 1x1 rib pattern, a just standard heel flap gusset construction. I love this so much. And then, yeah, I cast on the second sock because, you know, probably should do that, but I only knit a row, so. But there it is. I knit these on my Chiaogu twist, mini twist, I don't know. It's the sock twist interchangeable set. I got mine from Handsome Fibers on Etsy, which I highly recommend. He gets them out to you super fast, and you can buy individual sizes because I will never for the life of me knit with a 00. Just the way it is. So highly recommend those. And I just really love those socks. So yeah, I finished both of these to and from Chicago. So that's really exciting. Talking really fast and my allergies are just killing me, so bear with me. I'm mouth breathing because I can't breathe through my nose. Super fun, right? Anyway, I will show you some sock whips now because that's what we do. You guys, I am in rare form today, so I hope that's okay. In my bento bag by Fringe Supply Company, I have my Apple Blossom socks by Curious Handmade, Helen Stewart, that I'm knitting with Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast, Wool and Vine Yarns, my favorite, for her Curious Handmade along. So these are all tangled because I'm doing them 2 at a time. This is actually what I'm going to be working on tonight. It's going to be this and another project that I haven't worked on in forever. But here it is. I love these socks. Highly recommend my Pug Loaf Stitch Marker by Secret Managers, which, not to jump ahead of myself, because we probably won't, just because they have weird age restrictions. Doug and I might be rescuing a pug. Her name's Rosie and I love her. And I really hope that they let us, even though we're 23 and 20, well, he's almost 24. He's 24 on the 7th. I'm gonna be super cranky if it's just because of our age. It's fine. Yeah. So anyway, it makes me super happy that we might be getting a pug. So yeah, so there's that. I'll keep you updated. We should hear back by next week. So there are my Apple Blossom socks, and I'm knitting these on a Hiya Sharp US 1 40-inch circular 2 at a time cuff down, and the colorway is Bramble by Hedgehog Fibers, which I love. It's a very good neutral color. Both this and Monet, Doug purchased those for me on our honeymoon. So it's so nice to finally be knitting with stuff that I got in New York in January. So there is that. And I love my bento bag. I want a few more because I think they're the perfect little sock sacks. They just do this. They just knot it up and it's perfect. And I would also use these for like presents, even for non-knitter friends, just because, like, ooh, my needles are poking through. Gotta be careful with that. It's just super cute. So there are those. Next are my Nemo Touch the Butt socks, which are actually the Avenue socks by Mina Phillip from her New York sock collection. So I'm knitting the Avenue socks because I love them. It's such a good texture pattern. I'm doing the 6-row repeat, and this is my hand-dyed yarn Stress Knits yarn on my sparkle base and Nemo Touch the Butt. That's actually very true to colors right there. So I really, really love this. Yeah, this is my purse knitting right now, so I'm really just kind of enjoying it. So there are those, and I'm knitting these on US1 Carbons by Knitter's Pride. Sorry, I'm mouth breathing, and it's just making me a little burpy. So I'm sorry if I keep pausing. I'm just trying not to be gross, because I'm super stuffy. This is the worst time of year for me. It's better though than when I was at school in West Virginia, because they're 2 weeks ahead of us down there just because of closeness to the equator and stuff. So my allergies would start a little around this time and go until the end of the term, and then I would come home and it would just start all over again. So I was just miserable for like a month and a half. So I only get a few weeks this time, which is really nice, but my eyes get super itchy. I'm always just like super hivey, and my skin breaks out and gets really dry, especially my chest, and my throat gets a little scratchy, and my nose is just stuffed the entire time. So it's so much fun. I hate spring so much. Kidding. I don't really hate spring. I like it, but I wish I wasn't dying during it. Anyway, next are these socks that I'm knitting for my mom for Mother's Day / her birthday, because her birthday's the 5th of May, and then Mother's Day is also in May. So Mom, if you don't want to see them, look away, I guess. But I don't really care if you do, because you've seen the color before. So these are out of Stress Knits yarn, again, in the Mom's Flower Bed, which is inspired by my mom. This was the March color of the month. And yeah, so I just got done with the gussets yesterday. I'm knitting these on size 1.5 knit prosings. This is how it's knitting up, and I love it. I decreased down to 56. I started with 60, but my gauge on US1's 1.5s is a little looser than I remember. So just a cute little shorty sock. There's the heel flap. I really love this. I'm very pleased with how this is coming out, because it was a new to me dye technique, and I love it. So I'm just really happy that this turned out, and I'm really happy other people like it. So yeah, there's that. So that is Mom's Flower Bed socks. And then I cast on a new pair of socks last night, finished the ribbing this morning, and it is my prize skein in my stash. This is Soda Pop by Hedgehog Fibers. It's gorgeous. This was a club colorway from a few years ago, and I found it last year on D-Stash on Ravelry, because I stalked this color on Ravelry to see if anybody would ever give it up, and somebody did, and I was so excited. I bought it immediately. So here it is. It is just going to be a plain vanilla sock, just my favorite sock. So 2x2 ribbing, and then just plain vanilla with heel flap and gusset. It is gorgeous. This is knit on US1's 2.25 millimeter knit prosings, which I really, really like. So there's that. I really, really love them. Yeah, so there is that. I also cast on, where'd it go? This is lost easily because it's tiny. I also started my new Cozy Memories blanket, and here it is. Because I finished my other one, so I had to start a new one, because why not? Yeah, so this is Mullen Boone in Buffy, and it is my first wear. So yeah, so this will be worked on periodically. So we'll see what happens with that. Goodness, I'm always thrown off when I have to re-record, because I'm like, what did I talk about? What did I not talk about? And I have show notes in front of me, which helps, but you know. Next I will go into some stash enhancement. So one of these is the final installment of the Wool and Vine Yarns Yarn Club, which I'll show last. The other one is a skein of yarn from her that I could not resist. So this is Tea Leaves on her blitzed base. Just look at it. I love it so much, and I'm already a Wool and Vine Yarns fangirl. I'm obsessed with this, and I love her new labels. I love how she writes on them with these cool pens, and I love everything about this. So I'm either gonna save this for, I really wanted a circular shawl. I don't know, I just wanted all the things. So we'll see what this becomes. It might be a pair of socks, it might be a shawl, or a part of a shawl. I don't know, but just my favorite part is just this little, like, blip here. It's gorgeous. So I'm super happy to have this in my stash. And then, if you haven't received the final installment of the Wool and Vine Yarn Sock Club, look away in 3, 2, 1. So here it is, final installment. I had to destash the other 2 skeins, so this one is mine. I don't care. I love it so much. I loved all of them, but this is for sure my favorite. It's called Tequila Mermaid, because obviously, right? I love this little nugget right here. It's gorgeous. This will be a really fun pair of socks. Super excited about this. So, Kristen, you outdid yourself. I am a convert to yarn clubs now. Which I have my Homespun House Harry Potter Sucre Miniature on its way, round 1. I also have Woolen Boon round 1 on the way, so I'm super excited. Yeah, so that is Tequila Mermaid by Wool and Vine Yarns, and I love it. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, so that is my stash enhancement because I've been really good about my yarn diet. Next I'm going to move into dream knitting though, because I just want to knit all of the things. Sorry, chair sounds. So I have been craving knitting a pullover out of my own hand-dyed yarn. So, because I do have a cardigan, I'll show it. I have a cardigan on the needles right now. It is the Madewell, and I'm knitting it on my squishy base, which is my MCN in the Rattle colorway. So here it is. It grew a little bit since last time you saw it, but that's very true to color actually. Yeah, and I have my little radish stitch marker by Sugar Tots. I really just need to hunker down and get this done. I'm alternating skeins so it doesn't look crazy. But yeah, so I'm knitting this. It's a size large because I wanted it to be cozy. Yeah. So there's my Madewell, but I really want to knit a more neutral color garment because I don't have any sweaters that I've knit in the past that fit me well. So I really want to knit stuff that I'm going to wear. So something like this, that is very flowy everywhere else except for the sleeves where it's tight, so it still looks very form-fitting without being tight to my skin, because I hate that. I am very much a person that wears oversized sweaters and flannels and just flowy things in general. I'm sorry, I have to cough. I'm sorry. Tickle in my throat got the better of me. Yeah, so I've been toying around with the idea of knitting a boxy, but I really suck at knitting top-down sweaters. I knit the Gable last summer, and it did not turn out the way I wanted it to because of the way I attached the sleeves. I have no idea what I'm doing. I need to take a class on it, if we're being honest with ourselves. So, I thought, with the inspiration of Amy of the Stranded podcast and Stranded Dye Works and Katie of Inside Number 23. I'm going to be knitting the Pavement Sweater by Vera Valimaki. I tickle, my throat does not want to go away. So I will be knitting it out of my new colorway, Gravel. So I took a skein that is still in the shop, actually. This is on my BFL base, but I will probably be knitting it on my smooth sock, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I really love it because it's a neutral, but it still has fun. The scanning of this sucked anyway, so I can just take it apart. So it is just a very speckled gray and cream, but when the dye breaks, it breaks into some like oranges and blues and purples and yellows, and I just love it. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, so this will be a pavement sweater for me, and I'm really, really excited about it. So I will be dyeing myself some of that. This is also how I skein yarn. I think I've done this a million times on the podcast. This is how I do it. I usually don't have my engagement ring on though, so I'm trying not to, not to use that part of my finger because it usually gets stuck if I do, and it's horrible, and I've torn yarn before, and it's not good. Yeah, so there's that. So I'm really excited about the pavement sweater, and I also want to start knitting more shawls out of my yarn, just so when the time comes, which I'm hoping, Stress Knits is turning 1 in July. I think it's July, so it's coming up, and I can't believe that I'm still doing this, to be honest. I didn't think people would like it. I didn't think it would be successful. I didn't think it'd be something that I'm toying around becoming a full-time dyer, which it would make my life, to be honest, if I could do this full-time. And if I go that route, I really want to start doing truck shows and festivals. There's a craft show that happens in Plymouth, Michigan every year that I might be getting a booth for this summer. I need to talk to Doug about it. I mean, there aren't really yarn vendors there. There are a few people that have hand spun, but there's no hand-dyed yarn. And for me, like, when I go to stuff like that, that's what I want to see. And it's an arts and crafts festival, and I'm curious to see if people would want that. Or if anybody in the Michigan metro Detroit area is willing to drive to Plymouth, Michigan, people, in the summer. I think it's in July, actually. If you would want to see that, because I'm really toying around with getting a booth. But I have an idea of what I want to look like if I do that. So I want to have samples of most of my colorways, and so I need to start knitting with them. And all I knit with my yarn so far are socks, or have made it part of a shawl, like my Find Your Fade, where it's only one color in the shawl. So I think I really want to knit some Stephen West patterns. So I'm toying around with knitting like the dotted brays, or the lumpy space shawl, the eyeball shawl, just the doodler, to just have samples of colorways knit up. So if you have a favorite Stephen West pattern, or if you're a yarn dyer and you have patterns that you really love doing samples, using as samples, let me know, because I'm curious. Yeah. So that's dream knitting. If you are not interested in Stress Knits podcast, you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't, I hope. if you're not interested in Stress It's Yarn, I am going to get into that right now. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm sorry for the coughing. Allergies suck. So, yeah, so let's get into some Stress Knits news. So I'm going to be putting a few skeins in the shop. I'm not having a big shop update. I just don't have time or the money to buy yarn for the shop at the moment. So I'm going to be listing some stuff that I've already dyed. So I'm going to be listing more of the Stay Sexy, Don't Get Murdered. Just right here. I love it. Oh, this is my favorite part of the entire thing. I love it so much. So more Stay Sexy, Don't Get Murdered. I will have it on both Sparkle Sock and Smooth Sock. And then I'm also releasing Mom's Flower Garden. Mom's Flower Bed? I think it's Mom's Flower Bed. I'll check it. It's fine. It's Flower Bed. I have it in the show notes. I'll have 2 skeins of this in the shop on Sparkle. Yeah, so I'm really excited. So it's just this fun green with a bunch of speckles on the other side. So those will be going in the shop. I am waiting on the skeins. They're down here so you can't see them for the Coming Home Yarn Club to dry so that we can get those out as soon as possible. They're taking really long to dry because it's super humid in here. And it's even more humid outside, so it's just taking forever. So my apologies for that. But again, I'm super excited about this colorway. Yeah. I've been drying for like 4 days. It's ridiculous. So that's coming. And then in the shop right now, I have my May Yarn of the Month Club signups. So if you're not familiar, every month since December, I have done a Yarn of the Month Club subscription. So you get a skein of either my favorite sock, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, or my Sparkle sock, which is my personal favorite, which is a 75 superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina. Yeah. So I actually have colorways of that to show you. To give you an idea of what to expect if you sign up for this. Yeah, because I listed them at really weird times, so I feel like people didn't see it, so I thought I'd announce it here that they're in the shop right now. So December was my Solstice colorway, which is actually one of my most popular colorways. So that was December. I don't have a skein of January, which is January Wedding. I'm tweaking it to make it a regular, so stay tuned for that. And then February was Birthday Cake. March was Mom's Flower Bed. April, if you haven't received it yet, I'm so sorry for coughing, look away, because I have a skein right here. Ooh. So this was Willow Tree, which is based off of the Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, and the part where she's standing in front of the willow tree with all of her paths on the branches, and she can see her becoming like a mother and a writer, and it's beautiful. It's one of my favorite parts of the book. So yeah, so it is a overall minty green with darker green speckles and splotches and a coral speckle. So that is that. So again, May is in the shop right now. The last shipment of the Coming Home Yarn Club is going out. I probably won't be doing another club until like July, just so I can focus on regular shop updates, because I've already talked about this, but I am actually hoping to go full-time this fall. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I still have a bunch of stuff in the shop, a few skeins in the shop. So, go check it out. If you're curious, please purchase, that sounds stupid, please check out the Yarn of the Month Club signups if you're interested in any of the colorways that I showed you. This month is going to be really cool. I'm really excited about it. So with that, I'm going to move into some general chatter. So, so I went to Chicago this past weekend with my husband Doug and my best friend Lindsay, because my other best friend Beth Ann, Lindsay and Beth Ann are my best friends from high school and middle school and elementary school, actually, so I've known them for a really long time. Our best friend Beth Ann got engaged, and so we were there and we were part of the whole engagement, which was really amazing, and it was so much fun being with her and all of her friends and just being in Chicago, because it's my favorite place in the entire world, if you don't know that about me. I'm so sorry. So that was really amazing, and yes, it was so much fun. Doug is DJing tonight, so I'm probably going to just spend the night knitting on my La Moya shawl, which I haven't knit on forever, and I really want to finish it. So I think I'm going to focus on that tonight. I'm going to dye some yarn. I'm going to probably listen to My Favorite Murder podcast because our internet is out. If it comes back on, I will watch the new episode of Scandal. So that's pretty much my night, and I'm really excited about it. Nothing too exciting coming up except for my mom and Doug's birthday. So, I am going to, so I think I'm gonna go, and I hope to talk to you guys next week, and so have a wonderful and knitting night, and I'll see you later. Bye.